Hey, we're Carroll. We're here to talk about the Minnesota Beatles Project.
Open your eyes and float upstream. I'm trying to remember the...
If she said, what did she say? Well, I don't want to take a particularly literalist interpretation of this question, but I would have to say that if she said, then she said.
So if she said, that means, and we're saying there's only one woman in question here, it means that she made a claim about herself. In other words, she said that she said, or I said, or like her saying, no, I said this. But if she is talking about another she, it means that some woman is talking potentially gossipy trash about another woman.
I think it's plausible that the two she's in fact refer to different people. In which case, when she said, the first she was referring to what the second she actually said.
First she would be Helga, and second she would be Winona.
In
the first instance,
fitting.
Helga is both she's. In other words, Helga says to you, you know what? In the past, I said, I know what it's like to be dead. In the second premise, Helga says, hey, did you hear about Winona? Winona said that she knows what it's like to be dead.
See, I think that's the more plausible interpretation, because if Helga were to say, she said, Helga could not be referring to herself because she used the word she as opposed to the word I. In which case, Helga was definitively referring to Winona in her statement.
It's a gossip. So
whoever said.
Closing argument.
Yeah. So she said
Helga was talking about Winona.
It's definitely a gossip.
It was gossip. It's gossip.
It's gossip.
It's gossip.
If she said, we're a Beatles haircut, which would it be?
Right. If she said was a haircut.
Yeah.
Ringo Starr.
If she said was a haircut.
Ringo Starr.
It would be.
Which Ringo Starr?
What era?
Yeah.
Ringo Starr's haircut.
I don't see why that's relevant. What
Starr.
inspirations did you bear in mind when you were pondering what she actually said? Well, if she said what she actually said, and John Lennon isn't a liar, then she said, I know what it's like to be dead. If you actually said that, that would presume knowledge, first of all, of the afterlife, right?
Yes.
I mean, so can we know what happens after we die?